and you're not struggling, you're under attack.
As Christian men, we are called to surrender our lives to Jesus. To surrender to Jesus means to give in, not to give up. We are called to use our strengths, abilities, and opportunities to grow and prosper. We are called to strengthen ourselves, our families, and our communities. We are called to be disciplined, courageous, and honorable. This is Surrendered Strength.
Men, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Surrendered Strength podcast. And I'm your host, Nylan Lansing. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, and this is not your first time, I should say, please like, subscribe, depending on where you're listening, watching, leave a rating, and most importantly, share with a buddy that you feel might benefit from this podcast, from not just this episode, but the entire podcast, where we're leading men to surrender, to live in a way that honors and glorifies God, and to serve as a spiritual leader, to lead your wife and your kids to ultimately win. Because this is what as men we want to do. We want to win. And in Christ, we win. When we lead spiritually, we win. So again, like, subscribe, share, leave a rating, and I appreciate it. Thank you. If it is your first time here, I encourage you to do that, but welcome. Again, we are here to lead men to become spiritual leaders and become leaders in their home, in their work, and in the community, because we need more Christian leaders who are living by example. So thank you for being here. Let's dive in. Men, this past week it's been a kind of a roller coaster week for me, and it's been a little bit maybe more up and down than normal. And as I've kind of just been reflecting and trying to understand the big thing that I've been trying to gain as I continue to surrender, as I continue to grow. I'm not sitting here saying that I have it all figured out. As a spiritual leader, as a man who's chasing after Christ, who's been chasing after Christ for over a decade and trying to understand what it means to surrender, I don't have it all figured out yet. I'm still learning. There's new challenges. There's things in life that it's just different. So we have to find a new way to bring Christ into this situation. And for me, the last year and a half it's been marriage struggles and trying to navigate that, trying to learn and grow as a husband, and really really take a step back, surrender the marriage, surrender my wife, and give them to God, and accept the fact that my wife has the ability, has the opportunity to choose to stay or choose to leave. And that's been a hard one for me, and I know that's a hard one for others, because I've heard other stories. And as we continue to navigate and trust God and put our faith in God, and know that there's people that might walk away from God. There's people that are going to walk away from us because of our faith. And all we can do is continue to trust and continue to let God do his plan. And we walk by faith. We live in the Spirit, and just thank God for every opportunity, every challenge that we get. And that's been the challenge for me the last week. Really, I mean, it's been a real challenge, with some highs and some lows. There was a couple of days where I had the opportunity to basically live out the schedule that I've had in the past, but that I feel like is just if it was my ultimate schedule, and I'm gonna get there someday again, but I had the opportunity to live that for a couple days again. Right now, I currently work overnights in law enforcement, and so my schedule, if I had an ideal schedule, I would go to bed early. I would wake up super early, 3:30, 4 a.m., and just spend an hour or so in the Bible, in prayer, and just with God. And last week I had a couple days to do that, and those days were just fantastic. Just being able to spend time with God in God's Word before I go through the day, it is just something I can't describe. And for me not to be able to do that because I work overnights, I can still work, come home, go to sleep, wake up, read, read and spend time with God, but it's just not the same. And I don't know what that is. Maybe that's mental, and that's kind of where we're at today. Is talking about our mind and how important it is in our faith walk. And there's times where you are going to be attacked. A lot of us feel like, oh, I'm struggling with maybe depression, maybe addiction, maybe just lustful thoughts, adulterous thoughts, and you name it, any sinful thought, and you feel like, oh man, I'm struggling, I can't get it figured out. And maybe it's not that you're struggling, maybe it's just that you're under attack. You're not actually struggling, you're just under a spiritual attack. And the enemy wants you to believe that you're struggling. The enemy wants you to think that it's all you, that he has nothing to do with it, that you are being a sinful man because of your thoughts, whatever they may be, whatever you may be struggling with. It could be, again, marriage, it could be finances, it could be health, it could be lust, porn. It could be so many things. It doesn't really matter what it is. You have to understand that you are probably not struggling as much as you think. You're simply under a spiritual attack. And it, they use their mind. Satan uses our mind against us. They put thoughts in our heads. They put those sinful thoughts that make us think, yeah, I do want to watch porn, or I do want to, um, um, for me, one of the biggest things I struggle with is lustful thoughts. And and so there's times where all of a sudden I'll have a lustful thought, and it's like, just I could go down that rabbit hole, go down that thought path. But thankfully, the spirit has given me awareness to be like, okay, that's this isn't who I am anymore. This isn't the man I want to be, and so I need to take that thought captive. And it's interesting. The more that I try to defeat that thought or think of something different and you overcome that thought, the more that thought comes to my mind, the more I have those thoughts, the more challenging it is to think of something different. It's kind of like going back to the thing where it says, "Hey, don't think about for the next 5 minutes. Don't think about an elephant or a polar bear or whatever." And the the person that's doing this little exercise starts talking about whatever, and all you're thinking about is the elephant or the polar bear because you're trying not to, but that's where your mind goes. And when we're struggling with these spiritual attacks, we have to use the power of Jesus to take these thoughts away, to take these thoughts captive. And this is the quickest way and the only way to overcome your sinful thoughts, your sinful desires, is to take these thoughts captive. And we have to take them captive at at the point of the thought, and not let them get further down the path of a desire. Because we have a thought, and then we move down. If we continue to think about it, we start to have this desire to, act out that thought, whatever that may be. And if we don't get a hold of it in the thought process, we don't take that captive and say, no, this isn't a holy and righteous thought, then it's going to eventually turn into a desire. It's going to eventually turn into an act. And if we're not paying attention, that's where we run into trouble. That's where we start doing things that Paul says, I do the things I don't want to do, and I don't do the things that I do want to do. So then you're not struggling as much as you think you are. You're simply under a spiritual attack. And once you start to believe that and understand that and become aware of the attacks, you're going to be better prepared to simply take the thoughts captive when they come to your mind. And you can, a simple prayer is, Jesus, I take this, whatever it may be, lustful thought captive, and I remove it through your powerful name. Lord, give me holy and righteous thoughts. And Jesus is going to help you. Jesus will take those thoughts captive. So, man, I want you to understand that there's going to be days where you're on it. You're feeling good. You feel like you had a moment with God that is leading you through the day. And then there's going to be days where you're struggling. Or at least you believe you're struggling. And the struggle is not so much a struggle, it's just a spiritual attack. And that's where we need to return our thoughts to Christ, return our actions to Christ, surrender whatever it is that you're being attacked with, surrender it, and put your faith and trust in Jesus again. And this surrendering is a daily thing, and sometimes it's even more than just once a day. I know it is for me. There's times where I have to just return, and return back to God, because the world has a way of distracting us, and if we're not careful, we get off course so fast. It's crazy. You could be, again, one day on it, next day you're off course. So, man, I want to encourage you to stop thinking about or believing that you're struggling, and that your struggle is your struggle only, and that your struggle is your problem only, because it's not. You need to understand you're under a spiritual attack, and you need to understand that there's someone that's going to help you, using the power of name to, or the power of Jesus' name, to help you, to redeem you, to live in a different way. We have been given this power. We have been given the power to cast out demons, to take those thoughts captive, to say, no, Satan, get behind me, to crush Satan. We have been given that power in Jesus' name. We don't have to continue to struggle. We don't have to continue to believe that we are the problem, and that there is no solution. There is a solution. It's us taking our thoughts captive. It's us fixing our eyes and living out our faith, living through the Spirit. So, man, if you're struggling, I want to encourage you. You are under a spiritual attack. Simply, you are under a spiritual attack. And you don't have to continue to live that way. And if you're in a season of struggle and you need help, get help. Maybe it's from a counselor, maybe it's from a friend. Maybe you get a coach men to be the spiritual leaders and to understand the spiritual battle. And if that's something you think you're interested in, reach out to me. Surrender.strength on Instagram. And just message me. Just let me know what's going on. And maybe you just need a conversation. Maybe you just need to let out whatever is on your chest, whatever is on your heart. I know for me, there's been times where I just talk for a little bit, talk with someone that I trust and let them know what's going on. And it's easier to start seeing things a little differently when we talk it out and we don't continue to replay it over in our minds. So, men, you're under a spiritual attack. You are not struggling as much as you think you are, but you may need help. Again, Jesus is the best help you're going to get, but you can reach out to other people. You can get counseling. You can get coaching. You can just talk with a friend that you trust, a pastor, and you'd be surprised how much help you may get. So whatever that looks like, whatever you think you need, do it. Let go of your pride. Let go of the fear of people thinking less of you. The reality is people are going to say, hey, this is a guy that wants to get better. The strongest men in the gym are the people that understand they need to grow and go to the gym and get stronger. The people that are the weakest are the ones that hold on to their pride and say, "I know I'm strong enough. I can do this. I don't have to keep going to the gym. I'm strong. I'm strong." The mind's the same way. So men, again, I encourage you to seek help in whatever way that is best for you. And if you're looking to become a spiritual leader, if you're looking to be able to lead your wife and your kids in their walk with Jesus, I do offer coaching. And that's something you're interested in, again, reach out. Surrendered Strength on Instagram. You can also look up my name, Nylan Lansing. But just hit me up and see what's possible for you with little help. So men, I want to encourage you. You are not alone in this fight. You are not alone in this battle, but you are in a battle. You are in a battle against your soul. And how you lead and live your life is how the people that are following you are going to lead and live their life. What do you want that to look like? And God bless. I love you, and we'll be back next week. Thanks for listening. Connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Surrendered Strength. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and live the Surrendered Strength Code. Discipline, courage, honor.